Hello, hello, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, in one of those flyover states. Actually, two flyover states. My name's Brian Engelman. That is TV's Blake Walley. And this is the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. You know that. You know that. The American people know that. But you know what? There's a renaissance, there is an unveiling, there is a revelation, an apocalypse, a revealing, if you will. The magic spell of Hollywood and big government-controlled media has been shattered into 1,000 pieces and cast to the corners of our flat Earth. So it's an interesting time to be alive. No, I didn't mean that, flat Earth. Don't give me that face, Blake. But I am here to talk to you about all of the things, and I appreciate every one of you who's been on this journey with us on the New American Media for the past 13 and a half years, because we couldn't stand the propaganda anymore. First thing Donald Trump needs to do in office is repeal what Obama reversed on the Smith-Mundt Act that activated all of this government propaganda that you've seen really tearing our country apart for the better part of the past 20 years. So thank you for finding us here on the New American Media. We're going to talk about the Bidens. Are they the biggest group of liars to ever hold office? We're going to ask, agree or disagree, that it was an unexpected surprise to see Hunter Biden pardoned. Agree or disagree that Joe pardoned Hunter out of fear of Trump's firing squads. Agree or disagree that Ashley and Hunter, were they intentionally undermining dearest father with our inappropriate showers and our money laundering and treason? Riddle me this. We'll talk about that. Also, agree or disagree that Democrats need to stop being the party of wokeness. Wokeness is wilting, and I'm here for it. Also, agree or disagree that there needs to be a full audit of the DNC election finances. Wow. You want to see money laundering in action? Look at Ukraine. Look at Africa today with what Biden is putting out there and ignoring North Carolina, and look at what they're doing at the DNC. It is all money laundering and grift. Also, My Chemical Romance, you know that band. Welcome to the Black Parade. They're drumming it, but that's all that, like that whole buildup, that whole intro to that song is the drummer, and guess what? He's dead. But was he killed by foul play? We're going to ask on the program. And finally, Bill Maher, should he discontinue his real-time political show? We will get to all of these questions and many more on today's episode of the Agree to Disagree Show. All right. Yes, you can see in the background there. Blake, thoughts again. You were grinning. You had a thought on your mind. What were you thinking?
No, I was laughing at the end there. That was a funny moment with Joe Biggs there.
And he goes, ah. Yes, that was in 2015? The 2016 election?
The RNC in Cleveland.
Yeah, but it's like 2016, but you take office in 2017. It's like how football seasons, they start one season, but the Super Bowl ends on the next. I'm like, well, that was the 17 year or the 16, 17, 17, 18. What? I don't know. My brain goes into that mode, but I digress. Yes, it was funny. Not so funny. I'm wearing my Buckeyes shirt because that's who I represent. We had an awful game, really screwed the pooch, if you will, against that team up north. But I am still a fan, and I'm still going to represent my favorite teams. And I want to show you this because I hadn't. Go ahead, Blake. What were you going to say?
I'm going to show you the supercut of the unhappy hour ever.
Yeah, I know. I watched the game, and one of the things that I kept mentioning, Blake, was I was saying missed opportunities. Oh my God, we're leaving points on the table. Oh, we squandered a chance there. And it's like when you start piling up these negative phrases, and you're building a stack of pancakes with bullshit, you're like, there's too many problems. Like you missed a field goal, you throw an interception instead of putting 3 points on the board, you turn it over, like too many mistakes. So the Buckeyes lost. But I'm always going to wear this, and I would never, under any circumstance, wear merchandise from that team up north. We don't even say their name. I would never do it. I'm showing a Cleveland Browns backdrop here for me. I just want to bring both of these stories together. Blake was a special guest on our new show. It's called Strictly Football. And every single week on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, myself and Mike Barra join you to discuss everything we learned from the last week of football. We get some betting tips, and then we make our bets for the week moving forward. But this is an interesting thing I ended up getting into with Jason Kelsey yesterday. I just want to share it with you and ask that you subscribe. Follow us at @TheUnhappyHour_ and at TNAM Football, at TNAM Football. Those are our sports segments here with the New American Media. But I was watching the game. It was the Browns versus the Broncos. Blake, do you vividly remember Browns versus Broncos in the late 80s? Do you remember this rivalry? Like, is it ingrained on your life like it is mine? Because you're not from Ohio, you're not from Cleveland or Denver. Like, it's there, but you don't really know, or you've seen the replays so many times, you're like, oh, that had to be awful, or do you not really care?
No, I mean, it was probably what time I got into football, probably early 90s, but I do remember the late 80s. I do know the players. I do know the drive. I also remember it from there's an iconic part in the movie Hot Tub Time Machine. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see it, Brian? That's sad. I'm very disappointed.
I have thrown a football. Yeah, I have thrown a football around with Craig Robertson from Hot Tub Time Machine for like a couple of hours on the beach doing like a camp out one year. Set up tents and just had a big barbecue. It was so loud I couldn't even talk to him. We just threw the football for like hours, sipping on beverages and stuff. But no, I don't think I've ever seen Hot Tub Time Machine. I guess I should, huh?
I can't believe you haven't. That's weird that you haven't. Very, very strange. It's such an awesome movie, and it actually shows that scene.
I like humor, so like I will check it out. I'll write it down.
It was like inexplicable to me that you somehow missed that out of all these years. I mean,
inexplicable. It happens. I don't know.
That's like a huge movie, and it actually has that scene with, Denver, the Cleveland, the game. That's one of the funniest scenes. And Craig Robinson, and you met the dude, and you still haven't seen it. My brain is exploding.
Wait, is it Robinson or Robertson? Did I call him the wrong last name?
I think it's Robinson, right?
I don't know.
Craig Robinson. And you never saw it.
Robinson. I think I said Robertson. I was my brain went to a Robertson. Craig Robinson, yes, the actor from The Office and Hot Tub Time Machine, and the Pizza Hut commercials.
And what else? I forgot what I just mentioned.
The plums running down my chin.
Right. What's the?
That's one of Kenneth's favorite things when I talk about the plums, all juicy and ripe. All the outtakes, he's standing there trying to not laugh his ass off. It is such an impossible task. It's one of the funniest things. I'm not playing it again. I've played it on a previous show, but go on YouTube or actually Rumble and type in Plums outtakes and watch that scene. It's absolutely hilarious. But you're saying in Hot Tub Time Machine, they redid the Browns Broncos.
There's a scene with that in that. That's all I can say.
You've brought it up before. You might have even told me before. I wrote it down on my list to watch Hot Tub Time Machine. So I'll see if it's on Netflix or if I can find it somewhere.
It's got to be, one of those places.
I know we have all these streaming services, but
Amazon, Hulu, one of them.
It's just so weird. It's like if you go into Blockbuster, pick out whatever movie you want. Why are there limitations on what you can watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime? It's like, it's just the Library of Alexandria. If you're looking for it, go find it. Everything should be on the list. Oh no, this is leaving Netflix and leaving. The hell, leaving? It's a Library of Alexandria. I felt like watching a movie from 40 years ago. I'm not going to rent it for $7.99. Are you out of your fucking minds? Sorry, like that just really irks me. You know, it's like you pay your monthly subscription for your Blockbuster card. You walk in and you pick out whatever you feel like. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. These are movies with a blue sticker. You can't pick out blue sticker movies. You're like, why is there a catch to everything? I think I'm off my point here.
I have two other things to mention that you have. Have you seen Pineapple Express?
Yes, I did. That's that guy and that other guy, the weed smoker.
Franco and
James
Danny
Franco.
McBride, Danny McBride, Seth Rogen,
McBride.
Craig Robinson.
Oh, Craig Robinson is in that too.
Also, Eastbound and Down with Danny McBride. Did you see that?
They used to advertise it at Barney's Beanery, like in the hallway. You'd walk to the restroom.
God, Brian, I can't believe how these are like essential. Like
I've seen clips. I've seen a joke or two. Like I just never sat down and watched it.
It's 4 seasons. I think they're 10 episodes a piece, and they're maybe like half hour. So it's a very easy to watch show. That's only going to be on probably HBO though. I don't remember if they had it on Netflix. I think it's an HBO show. That's fucking hilarious. There's so many good stuff you haven't seen. So between Pineapple Express, which you did see, Eastbound and Down, Hot Tub Time Machine. That should be like mandatory viewing, Brian. And we'll have to have a discussion after that.
All right. Yeah, I'm all about it. Kenneth saying, hey, Deb from Sacramento, what's up? Hello, everybody. Please type your comments in the chat room if you're watching. Oh, geez, I didn't click go live on Facebook. It's such an annoyance. I go live on Facebook. I go to the RTMP streaming key. I don't know. I won't bore you with it. So I'm just streaming on my cell phone. But if you see this feed, clicking on this, go over to the New American Media on Rumble, YouTube if you must. That does have like 1,500 videos over 13 years. Or X at American_Media_. If you're watching on Facebook, jump over to one of those platforms. But here's what I wanted to get to, Blake. Yeah. Are we done going on our sidetrack, side journey quest, or did you have more to talk about Hot Tub Time Machine and Eastbound and Down? Or
God, that would be so good, Brian. I mean, you're going to be so mad at yourself when you finally watch those going, oh my God, like I'm 10 years late to the party. But yeah, here we go.
So let me set.
Now I fucking get it. Now it all comes full circle. All right. Anyway.
Okay. So let me just set this up for you. Yeah, I guess we've now surpassed 400,000 views. So, go figure. Let's see the post engagements. Oh, I don't know. Here, let me go back. All right. So I'm watching the game. It's Monday Night Football yesterday. We do Strictly Football and Strictly Browns and The Unhappy Hour. I do 3 separate shows designated for like those topics: Strictly Cavs, Strictly Buckeyes, Strictly Guardians, of course, as well. But I'm a big football guy. This guy, Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. It's all become this pop culture thing now. But this is his brother. They are both from the greater Cleveland area. They grew up as Browns fans. So Jason Kelce is a new addition to the Monday Night Football crew. And they did a segment of him walking around the tailgate, hanging out with people in Denver. And to my chagrin, that's a little pun for you people who live somewhere around the Cleveland area, knowing there's a town called Chagrin in Chagrin Falls. But anyway, to my chagrin, I see Kelce. He's rocking a Denver Broncos jersey, Blake. Just let me try to speak in terms you could something even you could understand.
Wow, me? I don't know, Brian.
Something even you can wrap your feeble little shiny head around. Your tiny little smooth brain with its insufficient synapses. Even you, a Viking fan. But by the way, Blake was our special guest on Strictly Football last week. Go check that one out on Rumble and YouTube and all the places, please. New X account for Strictly Football is at TNAM Football. But Blake, imagine what it would take for you to wear. Let's see who's your least favorite team from your division. What would it take to get you into a Detroit Lions jersey?
I don't have a history of hating the Lions. I
Because
hate
they
the
haven't been
Packers.
good enough to
I
hate.
hate the Packers. I would not wear a Packers jersey. No.
Who else is in your division? The
Bears.
not so much, because the Bears haven't been very good since
I
85.
don't, they're good once in a while. I don't consider them a huge rival. For me as a Viking fan, it's always been Green Bay has been our rival. Occasionally the Bears have had a few good teams. Lions really until the last couple of years, just a couple, and the last 30 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So it's different, but I've always hated the Packers.
Because the Packers have been the standard bearer for that division for decades. They've had 3 quarterbacks over like 45 years. It's like stupid. They've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and now Jordan Love for like the past 40 years, 3 quarterbacks. It's like we've been through 40 quarterbacks in the last 3 years. It's like the opposite as a Cleveland Browns fan. But what I'm getting at is, imagine you putting on a Packer jersey and walking around. I'm wearing a Packer jersey, everybody. Woohoo! Look at me, Blake Walley, the Packer fan. I'm in Green Bay. Look at me in my Packer jersey. You're getting sick to your stomach.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when I tune into this segment, Jason Kelsey's going around. He'll probably be an NFL Hall of Famer, probably will be a Super Bowl winner for the Eagles. But he's a Clevelander. He's from Cleveland. There's pictures of him and his brother, Travis, both wearing Cleveland Browns jerseys. They grew up through all of this. The Denver freaking Broncos are my Packers. They kept the Cleveland Browns and Bernie Kosar from back-to-back Super Bowl appearances in the AFC Championship game, in winnable games that came down to a play here, a coaching strategy there, a field goal that actually missed, but they called it good. I won't even go into all of the lore, but the Denver Broncos hold a special Green Bay Packers place in our hearts. So when I tuned in and saw Jason Kelsey rocking a jersey from the Denver Broncos, you ever click around on the internet and you click the wrong thing and the wrong image pops up and you go, like you'll actually recoil and try to block your eyes and go, why did I see that?
Brian, this is like 30 years ago. I mean, that's a long time. You're still holding a grudge against Denver.
Yes.
And they're in the conference, but they're not in your division.
Yes, I am.
You hating Steelers.
Oh, yes, I am.
Ravens.
I am holding that grudge. And how would Jason Kelsey, now I don't know if he has, I'd have to go back through look, I'm not a Jason Kelsey.
It sounds like a personal problem, dude. I don't know. That's weird.
I'm not a Jason Kelsey historian per se, but I don't know if he's had to go into who are the Eagles' rivals. That would be the Dallas Cowboys,
Giants,
the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
And then who's the 3rd team in their division? Why can't I think of it?
Commanders?
Yeah, the Redskins. They haven't been good enough to matter since Doug Williams. By the way, I think that was the one that the Cleveland Browns should have went to and defeated them in the Super Bowl. I think that was 89-90, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I couldn't imagine Kelsey wearing a Cowboy jersey walking around. So like it just hurt my head to look at, because that is a city and a team that there is no overlap allowed. There's just not. And I saw it was Brady Quinn. I think his sister was dating AJ Hawk on the Buckeye. I forget exactly the players, but his sister was dating the player on the other team in the playoff game, or the bowl game. And so they had a jersey. It was half Brady Quinn on the Fighting Irish, and the other half was the Ohio State jersey. And it was stitched together, mixed loyalties. It was a clever thing. Take 2 jerseys, split them down the middle, sew them together. Look at me. I'm rooting for both teams. I could understand that. Or maybe if he went into Denver, but he's wearing a Browns hat. He goes, I'm a Browns fan, but look, I'm here to celebrate your culture. I get it. But it hurt my sensibilities. My brain couldn't process what I was watching. And I sent this out. I said, why is Jason Kelsey, follow us on X at @the_unhappy_hour_. That's for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. I said, why is Jason Kelsey wearing Broncos gear? He's from Cleveland. You could read it like Seinfeld. He's from Cleveland. But, and I tagged TNAM football. That's strictly football. and Mike Bear, because he's the host on that. Anyway, this ends up getting over 400,000. If you refresh it, it's 400,000 now.
But only 4 likes.
Yeah. Can you make this make sense? Make it make sense. But anyway, I didn't cut. 406,000. Yeah, only 4 likes. I think that you did
100,000 people that saw that. One of them gave you like a like, right?
Yeah, I have 4. Yeah, 1 per 100,000. Yeah, these Blake, I think you've identified that there might be legacy restrictions on your X account, things that don't let people see your feed or let people interact with it. Like there's some glitch that's like, even when Elon went in and unplugged the old algorithm, there's still something attached to these certain ats and addresses that don't make sense. But anyway, I asked the question and Jason actually had a response. He responded directly to this, and I wasn't a jerk about it. I just said, why is he wearing Broncos gear? He's from Cleveland. And I just, he said, every tailgate I go into Monday Night Football, I wear a jersey honoring a former great of the home team. For the Jets, I wore Abdul Salam's jersey to honor him after his passing as one of the great members of the Sack Exchange. For the Steelers game, I wore my friend and desk mate Ryan Clark's jersey. For the Chiefs, I wanted to honor Abner Hayes and his contributions to the games in many ways. Tonight, I wore Tom Nayland's jersey as one of the legendary centers of the game and a guy who I looked up to and watched when I was learning the position as an undersized center myself. I like honoring great players of this league while venturing into the tailgates of teams' fans. But I told everyone in the tailgate I was rooting for the Browns, and when we were making our picks for who was going to win the game, I said I can't bring myself to pick against my hometown team, and I picked the Browns solely because of that. And he put a screenshot there where he said 24-20, the Browns were going to win. Cleveland, a land of cleavage. Yes, it is. It's certain places, certain times of year. But this is an ongoing conversation. I'm going to reach out to Jason Kelce and invite him on to the Unhappy Hour. Not sure if it'll be for strictly football or a special hybrid show. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But I asked this direct question. He gave a very thoughtful, detailed response. And I think maybe if he's going to do that moving forward, he should get a patch on all of these jerseys. It should be an Ohio-shaped patch that's half Cleveland Browns and half Philadelphia Eagles, who he played his career with. That would explain why you're wearing a Ravens jersey, especially when you're and your favorite team is playing them on the Monday night. It doesn't matter if Denver was playing Miami. That wouldn't matter. You can wear the Denver thing. But when you're playing one of your two teams, the team you grew up rooting for, your Vikings, or the team that you played your career on, the Eagles, I'm trying to bring this back to you, Blake. How does that sound? Put an Ohio-shaped patch, half and half. It's Cleveland Browns on one side, Philadelphia Eagles on the other. And you can go to a Steelers game or a Bengals game, a Ravens game, a Cowboys game, a Giants game. Just sew that new patch on that goes, this is where my heart is, but I'm here with you today. Let's not get it twisted. I'm rooting for the Eagles. But hey, I'm here to talk to you guys today. We whooped on you so much when I played. Figured I'd see it from your side once around. What do you think? Is that a fair potential suggestion that could remedy this Jersey Gate situation that's blowing up on Monday Night Football?
Was it? I don't know if it was that big of a deal or if that's more of a personal by you, Brian.
400,000 views in a couple hours. Like, people are talking about it. And he's talking about it because, it struck a nerve. And I don't know.
I mean, is it because his brother plays for the Chiefs and the Broncos are the rivals of the Chiefs? I don't know. See, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, it shouldn't be like you should be harboring all this anger over all these years for a team that's in your conference but not in your division. I can see if you wore a Steelers jersey, how that would offend you. And Eagles, that would be like a double.
But they said that he did, and he wore Ryan Clark's jersey. So
he did. Well, yeah, that's not. I don't know. I mean, I can appreciate.
But the difference is, I forget. I don't know who the Steelers were playing, but I don't think they were playing the Eagles or the Browns, so it didn't matter. But it's like when one of your two teams that you literally played for, or the favorite team growing up that caused you to become an NFL superstar in the first place. How do you wear a Packers jersey for that? So. Anyway, it's a conversation we have going on over here.
There are certain deal breakers. Yeah, Packers. I wouldn't wear Eagles either. Probably not the Cowboys. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate the Cowboys that much, but yeah, whatever. I don't like the Eagles or the Packers. I wouldn't wear Browns because I hate the color brown. But
But our main color is orange.
Ugh, that's even worse. I don't know which is worse, Brian.
How about the team name? It's just like they yelled at me in the tailgate lot for Cincinnati. Hey, Cleveland! I turned around. If it's brown, flush it down. I'm like, yeah, all right, there you go. Yeah, I like thinking of the land of cleavage. That's way better than thinking about the Browns. Just a stain on the league being terrible for this long. But anyway, super entertaining game. Jameis Winston, 500 yards passing.
Man, yeah, those are two teams that are tough to bet on because it's like, yeah, if I lose, I deserve to lose. What was I thinking? I did that too. I bet on the Jets like a dumbass. At least it was only $10. I bet on the Browns too. They almost had it till the very end, but I had a prop bet, so it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, oh, what was it? Yep. You deserve to lose, or if you have, I feel bad, Brian, that you're one of those franchises and you've set yourself up for just the endless misery and torture every week of having to do that. I felt bad for you, especially with the Ohio State, because that was the unexpected one. Like usually that's like the one you're guaranteed to win. You're
Ryan Day now has to win a national championship, in my estimation. And I usually think I'm pretty level-headed. I calculate a lot before I speak, before I kind of reach conclusions. I'm very reasonable. I make an excellent judge. In my estimation, my humble estimation, by the way, the most humble, some say. Some say, sir, it's the most humble. I think Ryan Day now has to win a national championship to keep his job at Ohio State. Ohio State has not beaten that team up north in 5 years. Yes, we are petty. We don't even say the name of that school up north. We cross off the letter M the entire week. Like it's all across camp. And I didn't go to Ohio State, but I'm an Ohio guy, and that was my team growing up. My favorite team, like the standard bearer of excellence. But they had John Cooper, who always lost the big game because he tightened up. Well, Chip Kelly in the offense, they had all these NFL caliber wide receivers. It's wide receiver university at Ohio State. Every time they threw it deep, the Michigan defender just wrapped up the receiver and got a 15-yard penalty, because in college it's not first and goal at the 1, it's a 15-yarder and first down. So they were trained to just wrap them up, throw it every play. They can't stop it, but he tried to get too smart. Too many missed opportunities. It was brutal. But in this case, it's different because we're clearly one of the top 12 teams in all of football, and it's a 12-team playoff this year, and we get a chance to redeem ourselves. So Ryan Day can keep his job by winning a national championship. Anything short of that.
Is that it? So that's all he's got to do? Okay.
We've had the best roster in football 4 of the last.
All right, I don't get you. Right, years. I know. I hear you. Right.
It's just we've had.
I'm ready to have one team that isn't just total horse shit, except for last weekend. But yeah. Otherwise, I don't know why you would do it. I don't know why you would just torture yours. I'd be like, I got to quit football. I'm not going to do this anymore.
I responded to somebody in that X post at the unhappy hour _. Please follow us and however you're watching us. Click subscribe, do the notification bell, leave your comments here. I responded by saying this is a hereditary disease. And we were born with it. Like someone's like, why would you root for the Browns?
Trauma bonding, right?
Why would you put a Browns jersey on? It's like it's a hereditary disease. And Jason Kelce has it too, because he's a Browns fan. You don't accidentally grow up in Cleveland as a Browns fan and not carry this with you. So yes, it is misdirected hostility, as 311 wrote about. It's petty. Yeah, I know that. They asked Ohio State coach against that team up north all those years ago, Coach, you're up by several touchdowns with a couple seconds left in the game. You score a touchdown, and then you go for a 2-point conversion. Why'd you go for the 2 instead of kick the extra point? He looks at the reporter and says, because I couldn't go for 3. That's what these rivalries are all about. So I wasn't questioning Jason Kelce as a human being. I was just like, bro, it's not just that you're in Denver, whatever, wear the jersey. It's against one of your 2 teams. You cannot side with them as a billboard for that photo op without at least having a Browns hat on or a Browns patch on or an Eagles Browns patch on. It broke my brain, and it's got a lot of people talking, and it gave Jason a chance to explain that he does this cool thing honoring the legacy of maybe unheralded players who deserve some more credit for helping the game of football become what it is today. But yes, if you can't tell, I have a passion for sports. I do that on the Unhappy Hour and Strictly Football, which Blake was a special guest on last week. And Blake has an open invitation to always be on every episode, by the way, should he ever find the time. That is an ongoing invitation, Blake. Don't ever ask. Just show up at 5 o'clock.
I did join last time. It's fun, but yes, I also don't want to add like it becomes a 2-hour show when you add a third person into it.
That is true. But that is true. Okay. Kenneth is saying talk of current news is pending. Let's go.
Where is Deb? Where is the comments coming from? Did she get banned?
Yeah, let me ask that. I'm not seeing Deb's comments here.
I see
on the chat overlay.
Kenneth responding to Deb, but I don't see Deb's comments. So I don't know what she's saying.
Deb from Sacramento. Where are you watching from?
She's in the doghouse with the Browns, I guess.
Right. But if Deb is watching on your YouTube, come over to my YouTube. If you're watching on my YouTube, go to Blake's YouTube. Maybe it's one of the YouTubes. Deb, can you talk to Ken and tell us which YouTube you're currently watching on, and can you switch over to the other one? But I will also encourage everybody to go ahead and switch over and follow us on Rumble. That's the new American media on Rumble. We are monetized over there. We can live stream direct over there. We get big numbers over there into the several hundreds now that we're streaming live. It's very different from the throttled, oh, wow, we had 13 people check out that show live on YouTube. I'm like, 13? We got 6,500 subscribers. We've been doing this for 13 years, but YouTube, Google don't want you to hear the news that we're about to present to you. That's why we had to bury it under a sweet, delicious layer.
Buried under 32 minutes of
cheese
for the show.
It's like when your dog is sick and you got to put the pill, you wrap it in some cheese and you just toss it at the Labrador. So football was the cheese that we're wrapping all the crazy politics around now. So let's go ahead and make a pivot and start talking about the top news stories. All right, Mr. Blake, agree or disagree? The Bidens were the biggest group of liars to ever hold political office. Agree or disagree?
I think I could agree with that. I mean, it'd be really hard to, I think they set the bar in new uncharted territory. Maybe we could say the Obamas to some degree, assuming, some of the conspiracies turn out to be true. Like if Michelle was a man and their kids were like adopted from their friend in Chicago. Like
Frank Marshall Davis or a different one?
Oh, and then Frank Marshall Davis is his real father. I do believe that
stories. There's so many. Joan Rivers. Yeah, there's a lot of the Obama chef who's paddleboarding.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a million Obama.
But even during the White House, if they were masquerading the whole time as they're fake kids and that's actually a man, not a woman, that would be huge. That would be devastating. So and then the lies, I guess, would be bigger. However, in quantity of lies. Or quality over quantity, right?
But the thing I'm getting at, let's set that highly divisive.
All right, the quantity of lies, it would have to be Biden, who was the VP, of course.
And that's what I'm saying. Obama was the puppet master when Joe Biden was running around the world as VP and using his son Hunter as the main deep state henchman to orchestrate the Obama doctrine. And the Obama doctrine has been to destabilize and overrun every sovereign nation, trying to erase borders and overthrowing and toppling countries in coups. Oh my gosh. Some say that happened here in 2020 even. Wow. So
right.
This pardon, all these stories are intertwined. Scott Jennings had a great way to sum this up. Actually, let me switch to this because it can zoom in on it. There we go.
Scott even necessarily. Well, he does say this. There's never been a bigger set of liars in the office than the Bidens. Not even close. The entire team, one after another, over and over and over, and not on small petty stuff either. So here's the list from Tony Kinnett. Not familiar, but he's an investigative columnist with the Daily Signal, and he's also a radio host. He says, the transitory inflation, the Afghanistan was a success, the border is secure, Robert Hur lied, Biden is fine, videos are cheap fakes, Biden had jet lag, Biden had a cold, Biden isn't going to be replaced, Biden isn't going to pardon Hunter. The list goes on.
I like seeing her as a clown.
Yeah, that's a pretty good filter there. All right, but yes, so there was a ton of them. All the time was constant gaslighting from this administration. And
Yeah.
so, yes, I think I would agree. Is the biggest group. It would be very hard to beat that. Only Obama if the big lies are revealed. Yes, it's Frank Marshall Davis. Yes, your wife is a man. Yes, those are your fake kids from your friend in Chicago. That would be just ultra huge bombshell. Yes, he killed Joan Rivers for calling you out for being a tranny.
And the Obama chef on a
That
paddle.
was later, but still relevant, right?
Well, yeah, tying up loose ends. That's when they thought that maybe Michelle was going to be the nominee, as they were staging a coup of Biden. Biden overthrows Ukraine with Victoria Nuland, with John Kerry, with Barack Hussein Obama, following Hillary Clinton's setup. They've been running these scams forever. They overthrow Ukraine in 2014. They overthrow the United States in 2020. They overthrow Joe Biden in 2024. It's what they do. It's what the deep state Democrats do. It is their playbook. It's exactly what they're up to. So yes, the Bidens are bad, but it's Barack Hussein Obama at the top pulling the puppet strings. Now, I don't think he's the mastermind, even though he did brag. People have asked if I had any interest in running for a third presidential term, and I said, maybe if I could be in the basement in my pajamas, maybe with an earpiece, telling the candidate what to do, okay, then maybe I could serve a third term. So he's not the mastermind, but he is probably one of the top 4 henchmen. If you're looking at a top 4 Mount Rushmore faces of the people controlling the puppet strings. Yes, he's right at the top, which makes Biden one of his surrogates. And it's like in any Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme, it all goes up and it all slides back down. So wherever Biden is, you got to go up to the peak of the pyramid. And that's where Obama's with the puppet strings. And there's still another force above that. But yeah, anything Biden's doing, Obama's been doing worse. So I would disagree with this, that the Bidens are the biggest group of liars. I would say it's Obama, because he's had the Obama doctrine to overthrow sovereign nations, flood the third world into every country possible, funding ISIS, starting wars, probably 1 million dead bodies in Ukraine because of the bullshit they pulled in 2014, overthrowing it to install a comedian, so that they could poke around and start a fight with Russia, Blake. So Bidens are bad, but I'm just saying in perspective.
Who is your top 4 for the Mount Rushmore? Because I did come up with a list for that.
Oh, as I was talking, yeah,
like a week ago, but then it just kind of faded away. Because I think you asked me that before, but I wasn't quite sure why.
I would say, and this is over the course of when, from 2014 to now, like specifically.
Right now, to be alive. How about everybody has to be alive?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, of the current since Obama took office, from this region of time, I would say Nancy Pelosi, hands down.
Okay.
Pelosi and Schumer interchange. I mean, all the treason, the insurrection bullshit, and the January 6th, and we're gonna have an unselected,
like a domestic version. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you look what's happening globally now that Trump's president. Trudeau's flying down and he's warning him, you better stop fucking around at our border. And he comes out and goes, we're going to shut that down right away. He goes, that's exactly what I thought. And there was a great story I sent out at American_media_ on X about allegedly what someone said Trump told Trudeau at dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago, by the way, that is the new White House. Why would Trump ever go back to DC? Just run it out of Mar-a-Lago while you're at it. But anyway, yeah, Mexico, he's putting tons of pressure on them to seal the border. All across the globe, people are now rising up against Macron with a vote of no confidence. Since everyone saw America stand up a little straighter, put their chest out a little bit, shoulders back, and confront the bullshit globalists led by Obama and Biden, the main chess piece globally was to take down Donald Trump domestically. So yes, Pelosi, Schumer, they have to be somewhere in that upper echelon, because as the United States goes, their entire Obama doctrine global plan of domination goes. So I would put them up at the top. For financiers, obviously the Soros component. Klaus Schwab. Who did you have on your Mount Rushmore of? And how did you define the list? You said the most influential group of people, or the most?
I don't know. I don't remember it was being that
strongest deep
extensive.
state. How did you? Who do you got?
Oh, I just put up, George Soros, Bill Gates, Obama, and the most controversial one, but just to be fair, Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, so you're saying who controls the Obamas? I said there's one more layer up above on the Ponzi.
Four nasty people that are still alive creating chaos somewhere.
Puppet masters.
Yep, there you go. There's 4 of them right there.
All right. Okay, so yeah, the Bidens have now been exposed as perhaps one of the biggest groups of liars to ever hold office. Yeah, people are talking back about this. People are kind of jumping in. I don't know what you have next queued up, but I mean, there's compilation videos about the lies. There's
well, that's about, yeah. Oh, okay.
Jon Stewart jumping in. I don't know which one ties here as a segue where you want to bounce to, because you were getting into the Hunter Biden being pardoned aspect of this.
That's really, yeah, that's it. I think that's
okay. Then let's pause. Well,
there's a lot of different sections of right, the Hunter Biden.
All right, let's move to Hunter specific
story there. Okay.
All right, and once again, if you're watching in the chat room, let's see. Kenneth is asking if Deb is still there, trying to see if she can switch over accounts. And
I think she's in the doghouse.
I don't know what's going on with her. Yeah, I think she's one that types like purple face emoji, finger point.
Yeah, they don't. Some of those emojis don't show up on Restream, but
yeah. So anyway, we're still trying to figure out if she can switch over to another one. But yes, let's talk about this. Blake, agree, disagree that it was an unexpected surprise to see Hunter pardoned. I thought we've been lectured quite a bit here. Was it an unexpected surprise for you?
No, not by any means.
No.
This was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous hearing like Democrats with a straight face, or at least typing it on Twitter or what have you, like a few months ago, thinking yes, they had the higher ground and
a moral high ground of Democrats. You got to be kidding me. Name one topic the Democrats actually have the moral high ground on, and I'll sell you a swamp in Florida.
They did during the Bush administration, and then it all went to shit under Obama.
I think the Democrats at the time opposing further engagement in the Middle East, I think on that one particular topic, you can review that and see how time has played out on that. It doesn't mean that any of their other policies were any better. It just means on that one very focused topic, because they were still crazy on many topics.
Right. One was just the wars. 2, you could say the internal wars with like the DHS. That was another one. Patriot Act. That was a big one. That was right on that one.
Global response to 9/11.
Right. How about the drugs? Like marijuana should be legal. It's not a gateway drug. That was 3. Number 4, gay people are a thing. They're real. It's not a choice. They're born that way. And if they want to get married, that should be cool. So those were
libertarian policies on marriage and
common sense, like
medical, recreational,
get out of the bedroom. Stop saying, "Oh, it's just a choice. It's it's against God," or what stupid shit like that. Was why the Republicans were so fucking lame in the 90s and the 2000s. Especially the hypocrisy was staggering during the Bush regime.
Didn't you have a guy from Minnesota
playing?
Didn't you have a guy from Minnesota playing footsie at a rest stop? Wasn't there a congressman?
Yeah, I forget. I don't remember, but yeah. But a lot of that stuff, it was always like the hypocrisy of like, oh, okay, here's another closeted homosexual, masquerading as a Christian conservative. There was a ton of that stuff. And
maybe I'm thinking of Larry Craig, Republican from Idaho. Oh no! Okay, there we go. He was arrested for lewd conduct in a men's
that he got busted. Yeah, it wasn't
Minneapolis, St. Paul. Okay, yeah.
Oh
my God! At the Minneapolis St. Paul airport, disorderly conduct. I knew there was a Minnesota connection. Anyway,
There you go.
So let's talk about Hunter in all
Yes,
this.
they had the moral high ground during the Bush years, and then when Obama took over, they went fucking nuts.
They went bonkers because they held some traditionally libertarian principles of, look, if it's not harming you, just you can consume what you want in any orifice as you please. Just don't harm other people. And that was pretty basic, but then the Dems like, well, we're progressive, so what's in our nature, we can't just push for a change. Now, since we're progressive, we have to go further and further and further and further and further and further. They had to just keep progressing past the point of, we said this, not that. This is cool. I don't know what you're saying about this. And they've done it on every issue. It's a bit of a defect with the word progressive, where you just can't ever settle into a comfortable situation and just go, all right, I think we're all right now. It's like you always got to be pushing for the next big thing. And yeah, the whole trans thing.
I'm not against progressivism. It's supposed to be an improvement, right? I'm always in favor of just getting fucking conservatives out of the way and making progress, putting out new ideas that are going to make things better or more efficient. However, their fucking ideas have been awful. Like trans bathrooms, or putting your kid on puberty blockers, or any number of these insane bullshit that they've come out with in the last 20 years. A lot of it sucks.
So anyway, on some of these social issues, maybe the Democrats had that going for them and they didn't want to get involved in a protracted global Team America World Police post 9/11, getting involved like Ron Paul was warning. You can't do the Patriot Act. You can't do this global war on terror. It's never going to end. And you're arming moderate rebels. And what the hell's a moderate rebel? Like, what are you overthrowing everywhere? Why do you always have to be in every government overthrowing stuff while the trillions of dollars pile up through the money laundering and are going, who's supposed to pay that? I'm not paying more taxes because you guys looted the coffers of our federal government. So yes, it's all hit ahead at this point. And the Democrats have been completely shaken into just a absolute hornet's nest of chaos in their party. But bringing it back to this administration, resoundingly defeated by popular vote and electoral college and just common sense across the board, because I'm still not convinced that these blue states and large population density blue cities actually vote blue on this at the percentages we're told they do. Let's pass the SAVE Act and see them never win a state again. I do have a strong suspicion there. But anyway, it's all come to a head with this administration, it seems. And now the speculation is that Joe Biden has pardoned Hunter Biden to protect himself, Blake. So what's going on here? We were told on and on that no, Joe Biden's not going to do this. But here we are.
Unlike Trump, Joe cares about rule of law. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, well, now that we're approaching, it's only December. I guess they did it early. I think Jack Sobek nailed it. They're trying to get it done before Kash Patel takes over as the FBI director.
And I mean, grab your
popcorn. They wait till the last minute, right, to do their pardons. It's usually January, right before they leave somewhere.
I mean, I remember making a big to-do during the Rush Limbaugh, Bill Clinton era of those pardons. I also remember George Bush Jr., GW, on the way out, making his list of pardons, and that was made into a big deal. The Obama pardons, I don't remember that being as big a deal, but that doesn't mean a whole lot of awful people didn't slip through the cracks. But once again, this once again gives me an opportunity to say, can we please fire the previous regime and walk them out with security? Why are they being left for 2 months to pull as many stunts and as much money laundering as possible on their way out the door? Walk them out with security and let's move on. We voted for a change. What are we do? We got 2 months of hell, a month and a half of hell here. This is nuts, Blake.
Well, yeah, they are doing some things they shouldn't be doing, like instigating war against Russia, which is awful. They get the chance to pardons and all that, but they can't do stuff that would, get us into a major foreign conflict so they can stay in power. That should be taken off the table.
And by the way, because of the Burisma money laundering, because of what Victoria Nuland, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, what they've all done in Ukraine, about 1 million dead souls and 1 million families shattered forever. For what? For what? Oh, it's Lindsey Graham. Speaking of people playing footsie in Congress, Lindsey Graham. Oh, shucks. That Ukraine, it's got so many delicious minerals over there. Finger licking good, I tell you. Oh, that's why the United States has got a strong interest in getting in to Ukraine. And I know one thing, it's about slipping right in and getting right in. I'm Lindsey Graham, and I approve this message. Oh, my heavens to Murgatroyd.
Very nice.
I don't know if I'm ashamed or proud of that impression. Am I ashamed or proud of that little skit? I don't know. Maybe a little both.
Sharing a big plate of biscuits and gravy with your BFF, Lindsey Graham.
Biscuits in bed. Oh, there's one thing I love, and it's biscuits in bed, if you know what I mean. The other thing I love is killing 1 million people so I can steal and plunder the loot. I can plunder the resources of a sovereign nation and start World War III nuclearly. Ain't that grand? Ain't that special? That's so special. I'm Lindsey Graham, and I approve this message. Oh, bless your heart.
Yes.
Bless your sweet little heart.
Good stuff. All right. I don't know where to go, Brian.
I don't know. I've kind of ruined the whole show with that impression. I don't know. What do you have pulled up on Biden? There's a million clips to play, a lot of good takes, a lot of stuff. I don't know what you had kind of queued up on your side.
Well, just mentioning a few things. Yeah. Okay. Here's another theory by Pasobik. Says over Thanksgiving. Yeah, that over Thanksgiving, that Hunter told his father Joe about a book that he was writing that would go public with everything, and then days later, his father signed a blanket pardon per White House official. I don't know. I don't have any sources there, so I cannot say what really happened there. But it could be, pardon was for Joe, not Hunter, in case anything comes back to bite them. And there is an interesting blanket immunity for 10 or 11 years, which we'll get to as a clip there by Jon Stewart. Where should we start? I don't know. Is it when here's Dave Portnoy slamming Democrats over the Hunter Biden pardon? So, Brian, what if Dave Portnoy asked you to go do a pizza testing, but you had to wear a Michigan jersey? Would you do it?
All right. Now you're getting into like you're talking about the worst liars in history. And now you got me thinking about Hillary Clinton. Say it again. What kind of review? No, I'm sorry. Maybe I was thinking about John DePodesta or Deepa Pizza. Deepa Pizza. What's his name? Deepa Pizza. Okay, we're not even going to go there. You can do your own research, internet.
Right.
I would look. I like sports. I would chop it up.
James Elephantis. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, Abramovich. Sorry, we're dropping too many little nuggets. Go around the internet.
Yeah.
Take a look. I would collaborate with.
They said you have to wear a Michigan jersey. Would you?
Dave would never say that to me.
Why
he would
not?
never say that. He knows I'm a Buckeye. He's
wearing a Michigan jersey. You're going to be in Michigan, and you're going to try Detroit pizza. And he says, Brian, you got to put this on, or we can't do the bit.
I would get an Ohio-shaped patch.
No. You don't have time. It's 10 minutes away. He's like, come on, we're going to wear Michigan jerseys.
I'd wear an Ohio State hat.
Nope, you can't. Nope, you don't have an Ohio hat. What are you going to do? Go to the fucking Target or Walmart? Are you going to go pick one up?
I have one right here at arm's reach.
Well, I know you're not, because you're out on the road with Dave Portnoy. All right, never mind.
No, I would turn down money.
Sorry, Brian. Nope, you're out.
I would turn down money. Yes.
Sit in the car, Brian.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it.
Well, I was going to have another guest. I won't tell you his name, but he was here, but he wouldn't wear a Michigan jersey. So I'm going to try the pizza, right? You'd be like, that was me. I was with Dave. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, sure you were, Brian.
No, speaking of Pasobik, yeah, I did jump on with his program once. Right place, right time. Got to jump on Real America's Voice. That was kind of fun. But yeah, if Dave, come on, you couldn't require
He's a Michigan fan, right?
Yes, he is. Annoyingly so. Him and Rich Eisen as well. Another man who I've met. I enjoyed talking with Rich Eisen.
All right, so Rich and Dave Portnoy, they're about to take the pizza, and Brian's going to say no.
I would have to wear a Buckeye.
You don't have one. Why would you have one? Do you normally wear one? Okay. All right.
Always.
Fine. Just testing you. Just testing your purity, Brian. All right.
I go to bed at night wearing my Buckeye hat, wearing my Browns hat. Anyway.
All right. Well, here's Dave Portnoy talking about. He doesn't get too political too often, but occasionally he does, especially.
He's been on Fox News quite a bit. He's been with Tucker. Like, he's working his way in, kind of doing like a Clay Travis, Brian Engelman thing. He's doing his thing very successfully, very lucratively. I'm still building on it. But yeah, he's been blurring the lines of sports and politics a little bit now. Because this is the Trump effect. Like I was saying, globally, now the rest of the world leaders are standing up and saying, I want my country back. I don't believe that you actually won that election. I want someone that cares about the residents of this country to take over. That's the Trump effect. So the Trump effect is also other people like Stephen A. Smith, like Portnoy right here. People are now speaking out. Sage Steele, people have crossed their lines and they're done. They're getting into sports because sports is it's a wolf in sheep's clothing that can get into society with locker rooms and boys with girls sports, and it gets all sorts of murky if you let it. But now people in the sports world are talking out, thankfully. That's the Trump effect. The pendulum has swung back. Ron Paul used to talk about the globalism of the United States being Team America World Police. We're eventually going to have blowback. That's what happened on 9/11. It was blowback. People are sick of the shit. They're sick of us bullying and installing terrorists in all these other countries so that we can run their country into the ground, steal their resources. It's like, who's been the bully for this whole time? I think America can be an awesome place without killing 1 million people in Ukraine. I don't think that's fucking necessary. Forgive me if that's pie in the sky. That's a little too beyond the pale. What a crazy political strategist you must be, Brian. I don't know, maybe not kill 1 million people. We have to kill 1 million people because someone's got to steal that shit, and it's going to be us. I'm sorry, we can do better than that. So yeah, I think the Trump effect is causing some people to speak out on current events more than they used to. We used to be very scared inside of our shell. We don't want to be sticking up to, you don't want to be the tallest flower. You're going to get the weed whacker. But now it's like, fuck it. The whole country's fallen to hell. Like you got to do something to save this ship before it crashes. It's headed straight for that iceberg. Someone grab the wheel and take it. And it took someone superhuman like Donald Trump, super rich, super connected. And I've never seen anybody with more energy, more stamina, and just more grit to get through what he got through. Nobody's come at anybody like they've come at Trump. They've multiple assassination attempts, all of the lawfare, all of the fake impeachments, all of the fake prosecutions. Thank God somebody was strong enough to get past the Obama-Biden curtain. And it really is just the curtain, the man behind the curtain in Wizard of Oz, little pipsqueak punk. Get him out of the way, grab the wheel, and avoid the catastrophe. So that's the Trump effect, I think. But yeah, let's hear what Dave Portnoy has to say about
later. Okay. Right. I forgot where we were. All right. Also, yeah, I was going to say Mark Andreessen, a lot of the Silicon Valley people have come out supporting Trump too. So yes, I would agree, Brian. There's a lot of people from non-political occupations that are speaking out.
Activated. They become activated because they have to. They sense the urgency of just how bad things have become.
All righty. Well, here's Dave Portnoy.
Okay, I thought I was done with political rants, but I guess I got one more. This Hunter Biden thing, it's in the news. Everyone's talking about it. Joe Biden, and the Democrats, after probably saying no less than 9,482 times unequivocally that Joe Biden would not pardon Hunter Biden if Trump was elected.
The president would not pardon or commute sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
He'd have to go through the jury system. Nobody's above the law, blah, blah, blah. What's he do? Of course he pardons him. Of course he does. Not only that, it's like for 11 years. So anything he could have possibly done in the history of time, he is pardoned for. Now, I'll start by saying if I could do that for a loved one, a family member, I would probably do the same thing. I wouldn't lie about it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to protect my own. No shit. If Trump gets elected and they're going to make Hunter Biden go to court and investigate him, all this, yeah, I'm going to protect him. But the Democrats, Biden, they didn't do that. They're like, no, what are we, crazy? Now.
All right. So I think that pretty much sums it up. We could continue, but yeah, we get the idea. There's a few more of these. One, well, we're not going to watch 9 minutes of this, but there is a supercut from Tom Elliott about all of the talking heads saying that Biden would never pardon Hunter. Sure.
Before a family.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Letting the world know that he will not wipe away the decision of 12 of his son's peers.
Was asked directly, and he has said he wouldn't pardon his son if he gets convicted.
Let's wait and see what happens if he loses.
Yeah, but he said it.
He's going to get pardoned by his dad. There's no question about that.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Major commitment.
Oh, that settles it.
From the president, accepting the outcome of the trial and also pledging not to pardon his son.
So the challenge for him is really to continue to live up to his values when it was really personal, and he did that today.
It seems like
He did that today 6 months ago. Well, we believed it. We take it to the bank.
Oh,
All right, well, there's 8.5 more minutes of that. We can skip ahead.
It's kind of great though.
Right. No, yeah, there's plenty of good stuff out of that. That should be a reason why people never believe legacy media again. Which one do we want to watch? I mean, there's Scott Ben. There's a couple of with Scott Jennings. I'm going to come back to that one.
Okay.
Let's take a look. Here's the Jon Stewart one. This is one that you sent to me earlier, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's check out what Stewart says.
Johnny boy.
In the rule of law. Finally.
Well, I've always been a fan, and he's still by far and away the most intellectually honest liberal pundit out there by leaps and bounds.
Democrats have a moral perch from which they can judge without shame, hypocrisy, or nuance.
Breaking news, President Biden has issued a pardon for his son, Hunter Biden.
Mother... We were so close. But you know what? Get fine. It's good. It's right. It's his right. He's an 82-year-old man. Doesn't want to spend the rest of his life visiting his son in prison. Republicans get away with this shit all the time. I'm sure the pardon is a narrowly written, precisely drawn farewell note of compassion for a loved one.
The pardon sweeping, covering offenses that Hunter Biden, quote, has committed or may have committed or taken part in over the past 11 years.
11 years is a very specific.
Yes.
And not rounded amount of time. So, Hunter, I'll give you a pardon. Well, a few years, 5 years, 10 years. It needs to be 11.
And 2 months.
And if you would be so kind, make sure this upcoming New Year's Eve is also covered.
Wait, pause it. I love how he's living in that facial expression, letting that joke sit in. A lot of times it's just, you got to live in like the pause. Let the pause take over. I remember I think it was Stephen Wright. Maybe it was another comic. And it was just the guy gets pulled over and he puts in his red contacts. He says, "Do you know why he pulled you over?" It's like, "Oh, I'm so blah, blah, blah." Speeding. He's like, "Oh, here you go. Here's my license registration. And by the way, I'm so sorry to hear about what happened to your family tomorrow." And he stares at him with the red eyes. I like that joke, though. And if you'd be so kind, please extend that to this New Year's for a future endeavor I wish to embark upon illegally, of course. I like how he wrote that joke, is all I'm saying.
No, it's good stuff. No, I can always count on John for a good take on there. All right. A little bit of time left. We'll run it out.
Shit's going to get crazy. I didn't know pardons could cover crimes you may have committed. I'm surprised Biden didn't include the phrase "on Earth 1" or any of the Earths in the multiverse.
Okay.
All right.
I've quoted that on here several different times. Do you know what he's talking about, other than literally what he's talking about?
Well, like in other parallel worlds? But,
Yeah, go ahead, continue. Let me pull something up. I'm going to find something to share with you.
Oh, okay. I don't know if this is really not really an agree to disagree question, but you did bring it up, and I did happen to catch it, and it is interesting just to show you what a dirtbag this guy is. You know, not that I understand he gets pardoned, whatever. Not that I have axe to grind or that I think he belongs in prison per se, and maybe not even for the gun crimes, which was the least severe of all of the other crimes. I do want to find out what's going on with the business dealings, as well as where they're minors and his laptop and what other kinds of crap that this guy's into. But he is a scumbag. He's been called out because of this pardon. He's pissed, this Venice Beach landlord who said he's an absolute shitbag and he owes him $300,000 in back pay rent. And he said he tried to pay rent from art made from his own feces. I could say, you know, could you picture that? It's like, yeah, dude, your rent's due, and he's making all this money off of art, and he's got such an inflated sense of self-importance that he would try to give some of his artwork away, but it's made with feces. So Sean McQuire, a partner in a San Francisco-based investment firm Sequoia, revealed that Hunter Biden still owes him rent money from 2019-2020. I can't believe he hasn't been able to get this back, or that he was allowed to go through with it, but maybe there was pressure from above, from the government. I don't know.
And why haven't the people that blocked this guy from his property been arrested? The Secret Service that blocked this homeowner. Like, that's just stealing people's property, Blake.
Yeah.
If you're not paying for it, that's just stealing it.
Just squatting, but yeah, it's California laws. So maybe that's what he was exploiting. Is like he's just basically squatting. And what are you going to do? They made fun of this, and it happened in the show Silicon Valley, which is another one you should watch, Brian, but not as urgently as the other two.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right.
I'm open to watching it.
Right. Hot Tub Time Machine, then Eastbound and Down, and then you can get Silicon Valley, which is also outstanding. It's just going to take a little more time to watch. Anyway, side issue.
By the way, I can't find you the clip, but I can show you. Oh, no, I did find it right here. Good. Okay, let me play this with you just because I don't want to go too far afield.
All right. But what this guy's point is basically making is, if he's pardoned, that does he now not owe the money that he should have gotten years ago from being a landlord? I don't know. So that's a curiosity. It's a legal loophole. But yeah, he should get paid. These fucking dirtbags made enough money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'd have to know. It's the first time I've heard of it.
Okay.
What is this trashy family doing? Squatting. They got all that money and power, and they're fucking squatting and screwing landlords. And I guess they trash the place too, because he's a drug addict loser. But anyway, whatever. Good for him. He's pardoned. All right. All right. What do you got? Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's this clip. It's popping up. Okay, it's over here. It won't let me see it on the screen. That's weird. Okay, I think I can. Let's see. Are you watching it here? Oh, where'd it go? Sorry. Let's go with the first one. Share it. Okay, this is what I was talking about future crimes that Jon Stewart was probably talking about. Might it stop playing? Billy Corgan with Rogan. $360 deals.
It's not playing on my end. Issues with the TikTok.
Did you hear that, Blake?
I can see it, but I can't hear anything. Nothing's moving. Nothing's happening.
Oh, you're not seeing it. The hell's
I
going
can
on?
see the picture, but nothing is moving on it. There's no volume. There's no video. Okay, now I can see your cursor at least now.
Okay, so that's different.
Simpson
Can you hear
and
this?
Sturgill's tried to educate me.
Yeah.
Did that come through?
I can hear it now. It seems like its video's still not working, but I can hear it.
Okay, I'm down to one. Okay. Try this one last time, otherwise I'm just going to decipher it for you.
They own us into the universe.
Sturgill Simpson, and Sturgill's tried to educate me as to how the record business keeps people in the fold with owning your merchandise.
You can hear it, right?
Your likeness forever and all these different things. It seems crazy. Like
we actually signed a clause, and it said, and this contract pertains to this universe and any universe not yet discovered.
What?
We signed that clause.
Like, that's essentially the joke that Jon Stewart was making. And that moment has always jumped out to me, because I think if you rewind the conversation, and this is a great chat, this guy, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, he owns a wrestling league. Super interesting guy, super successful, but he's talking about, like, record deals used to be about record sales. But when CDs, like cassettes and CDs came in, the old record deals weren't updated. So when they tried to get payment, the record companies tried to get paid on cassettes and CDs, the artists and their management pushed back and said, hey, we signed a record deal, not a compact disc deal. And so, like, then they were keeping more money from the sales of these things, and they weren't a part of the record sales. So it was at that point that the music industry got so on the other side. All right, we're never going to get ourselves screwed again. Make sure we have a contingency clause for everything. Even if there are universes yet to be discovered in the multiverse, we want a cut of that contract in that universe too, because parallel universes are probably a thing. And that's just mind-blowing to think that they've gone to such lengths to make that happen, but it's for a good reason. And that's the joke that Jon Stewart was riffing off of for crimes and future crimes yet to be discovered.
Who wrote that?
The record company.
Jesus fucking, what are they, Scientology? That is crazy.
Like, we literally had a
show you
thing,
gotta
and it was
watch.
like,
What, Scientology?
Nope. Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay. Rick and
Parallel
Morty too.
Worlds and all that.
I've watched a few episodes. It didn't grab me after a few episodes, and I just didn't continue.
I'm shocked.
Maybe I got to get past the first couple episodes, like the first season and a half.
I wouldn't watch the first episode of the first season, not the pilot episode, but like the robot dog, I think, is the second episode. And just from there, I think it's just an outstanding series. I mean, there's a few clunkers, but I mean, for the most part, I think that it was one of the best shows I've seen.
I'm willing to give it another chance.
Scientology? That is crazy.
like, we literally had to sign a thing, and it was like, this contract pertains to this known universe and any universe not yet discovered.
That is fucking insane. That is insane.
Signing
like
your
if
soul
someone
forever.
found a parallel universe somewhere and they figured out they could sell music to them. It's a parallel They haven't heard the Smashing Pumpkins. Get over there quick. Shoot a rocket ship filled with cash over there.
Well, that, you know why they put that in is because
here we go.
when they transitioned to CDs,
Okay, good. I'm glad he gets in. I thought he talked about this prior, but I'm glad they. And then we'll wrap this up. Get back to your story.
You know why they put that in is because when they transitioned to CDs, the contracts didn't account for CDs.
Oh.
And what they did, it's a very classic thing, is so they had to go back and renegotiate all the deals because of the CD technology. This would have been like whatever 80s. So they went to every artist and they said, look, it's this new technology and we're not sure it's going to work. So you got to take a price cut. We're only going to pay you 75 cents on the dollar so we could advance the new technology.
Oh, Jesus Christ, they're dirty.
Yeah, those contracts are nuts. But that was essentially the essence of that joke with Jon Stewart right there. And I just wanted to provide it for context. Okay.
There was another movie I won't tell you to watch.
Last episode, Blake, all we did was talk about music, and we were doing music stuff. Now this episode, it's all about
it's a music thing too. Is that I forget the name of the movie, but the guy gets into like an accident, and he wakes up and nobody knows who the Beatles are. The Beatles don't exist in his reality, but he's a musician, so he becomes famous just doing all the Beatles songs. It's a British movie.
It's called Yesterday from 2019.
Oh, you saw that? Okay, there you go.
I did watch it, and I looked it up in real time. It's like, hey, Jamie, can you pull up the name of that movie? Type in Beatle. Like, look, I can do that myself. I can be my own Jamie.
Okay, well, finally, Brian, we've finally seen something. All right. No Rick and Morty, no Eastbound and Down. Inexplicably that you haven't seen Hot Tub Time Machine. That's shameful. And then whatever. I forget what else.
And then whatever.
Pineapple Express. You said you saw that.
By the way, thank you for pulling this up.
You don't remember it? All right.
Thank you for pulling this up here. That's a nice every show I need you to show off the thumbnail because you put some energy into it. And it made me laugh out loud. Here, what's the full screen on this? You got
the tub cuts off on the right side, so I had to cover it up with a rubber ducky.
Hot tub cut machine.
Yeah. And then we put in some bath salts there on the left. Anyway.
Now, are those the bath salts that make people go crazy in Florida and eat people's faces?
I don't know now because I moved to Nashville and the new place that I have has a soaking tub. So I was like, sweet. Oh, I could do baths, So I do mix it up, but I didn't know. I don't understand the bath culture. I don't know what I need to use or whatever. So I bought like Epsom salts.
Ask Barack Obama, according to Larry Sinclair.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Is that what people smoke? The Epsom salts, or are they something else? I guess they'd have like fancy bath salts that just have chemicals and shit in them. And if you smoke them, you'll lose your shit. I don't know.
Now, I don't know if those are I think bath salts are a type of drug. I don't think they're literally smoking bath salts.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you never know. So I wasn't sure either. Okay, that puts that to me. I don't know what those are. Then I don't know what the drug itself is, but it's certainly not something that would appeal to me. It's like, oh yeah, this person smoked bath salts, and now they are turned into a carnivore. What do they call it? Cannibal. Remember they turned into
carnivore cannibal.
Cannibal, yeah.
Carnivore. By the way, here's 3 seconds of an awesome riff from one of the best bands that you need to know about. They're called Highly Suspect. This is a song called Bath Salts. Where's it going to get loud? Here's a little riff. This is your type of song. Yep. Oh, this is actually a different version of what we have on the album. I like the other version better, but anyway, check out Bath Salts by Highly Suspect. I highly suspect you're going to love that damn band if you go check them out. On Planet Disco, yes, and any planet not yet discovered. I love that. I used to work at the William Morris Talent Agency. That's the world's largest entertainment agency in Beverly Hills. And I mean, we processed $1 million Barry Manilow deals and stuff. And I worked in the contracts department. I loved getting into the minutia. I remember Tool, one of my favorite bands. They were performing a smaller tour. They usually do. They came to Louder Than Life in Louisville and played for, I don't know, 100,000 people, however many was there. They like large festivals and big stadium arenas for like the basketball arenas, 20,000 seats and whatnot. But they were playing a special theater show. It was all kind of tight and small, a couple thousand seats. And every ticket in every venue needed to be $66.66. And so that was the directive from the band Tool, numerology, demonology, who knows what the hell they're getting into with 6666. But every city had different taxes and fees and venue fees. So it was driving their assistants crazy to, they're pulling out their hair, 37 cents for a venue fee, and Carolina charges this. And I like the minutia of contracts. I worked as a talent agent myself briefly and a concert promoter. I love contracts. Riders. I booked the MTV Campus Invasion tour in college, and they had a 100-page rider. I mean, that 100 pages of shit that you have to handle. That's a lot to sift through. That's all legalese. It definitely went to the legal department once I booked the show. But yeah, I love contracts, and I love any universe yet to be discovered. I love the concept of writing these things out and being clever. But yeah, it's totally weird. But that was the genesis of the Jon Stewart joke. And Jon Stewart, great writer of jokes. Kenneth saying he used to work at a record store back when they still had 8-track. Man, nice. 8-track. I had a 1-track mind back when record stores were a thing. I guess record stores still are a thing. Records are selling really well, if you didn't know. They still
have some, yeah. I haven't been there in a long time, but that's how we used to do it back in the day.
Yes, sir. Okay, back to Hunter. I don't know. Where do we want to go? We did Jon Stewart. Should we bounce into Bill Maher? Should we talk about
exactly where we want to go? Yep.
Firing squads. Okay.
Because that's where Scott Jennings is. Yeah, let's play that one. All right.
Okay, so Scott's over here. We'll go to that clip right about now. What a serene environment that was. Take a guess of the state that looks like, everybody. What state was that little stinger in? Blake, what state is that? I think it's Nebraska or Kansas. I think it's Kansas.
I was going to say like Arizona, New Mexico. I'd have to see it again. I don't know. It could be Texas, Oklahoma.
Then we will play it again and we will try to figure out what it is. Okay, Blake, what do we have here? This is Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings is just crushing it. Wherever this guy came from, man. Like, yeah, more Scott Jennings, please.
I think he was part of the old Bush team. Are we saying the same caption on the bottom?
Did it go to Joe? Here, let me go to
Bill Maher, and I moved it.
Bill Maher. There we go.
Why is it on Bill Maher?
Which one do we want? Firing squads.
Yeah, there we go.
It showed firing squads on my side.
I see it now, but before it was Bill Maher.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
well,
it showed me Joe Pardon Hunter on my side when you were asking about. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
So agree, disagree that Joe pardoned Hunter Biden out of fear for Trump firing squads. Agree, disagree, Blake.
I'm going to disagree, but not this crazy lady, Lee McGowan, who's she's a politics girl. She's one of the paid influencers, I guess you'd call it.
Can I agree, though?
Yeah,
let me jump in and agree. The hammer of justice is coming. And this isn't retribution, like political payback, like what you did to Trump. Oh, no. The criminality of what you have done, deep state, it is beyond the pale, off the freaking charts, what you have done. It is treason, pure and true. There is a penalty clearly defined in our governing documents for what happens when you commit treason. And this is all knowingly, intentional, premeditated, pre-orchestrated, part of a conspiracy, a RICO, everything you can imagine legally that they tried to accuse Trump of falsely. The Democrats in power have actually done. I might agree with this lady. Let me hear what she has to say before I fully commit to that. But I think I might agree with her because the hammer of justice is coming and there are penalties for treason.
Okay. Yeah, I think she gets, I don't know if she's part of the Midas team. But yeah, like all these little Democrat hacks, flacks, and lackeys. She's part of that little army of paid influencers. So let's check her out. They put her on CNN. She usually reads like notes from her kitchen. But this time she was reading notes from her little CNN desk here.
But wasn't, to Scott's point, I mean, wasn't it a lie? I mean, you can defend it, but wasn't it a lie that he was not going to pardon him?
No, I believe the circumstances have changed. I think that we now have a president coming into office who's talking about firing squads, who's talking about running people around the country and making sure that everyone who's his enemy is going to be punished. And Hunter Biden lied about his drug use on a government forum when he was buying a gun. And he failed to file and pay taxes when he was a drug addict. He paid back those taxes with interest. Donald Trump himself was indicted for 17 counts of criminal tax fraud, more than Hunter, and he's going to be the president of the United
11
States.
Years.
So
you're missing a few things here. 11 years, pardon. Full and unconditional pardon.
But wasn't, to Scott's point.
Okay. Well,
I mean, look,
So she's saying that right. So initially, when Joe said he wasn't going to pardon his son Hunter, that he meant to that, and he wasn't going to until Trump won, and then now, holy shit! Well, he might put firing squads out there, so now he has to pardon him.
Oh, you mean there might be ramifications for your criminality finally catching up to you? I am surprised. These people thought they were going to get away with it. These people thought they were immune. They thought they were bulletproof. This Obama doctrine of political division through race, through sex, through gender, through religion, through everything imaginable. Obama was out there on the campaign trail just days before the election, repeating the fine people hoax. This was a couple of weeks ago. The grossest people to ever get involved in politics, and the ramifications of what Obama and his ilk convinced everyone around him that they were going to be in charge forever. They never thought Hillary would lose. They never thought Trump could get in. They thought for sure they'd take Trump out. And if the Republicans, air quote Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, all these fakes that definitely threw in to sabotage Trump and frame him for shit he didn't do, if they can't keep him from accepting the nomination from the party, I'll just put a bullet in his face. That's what they tried to do in Butler. They missed. They took their shot. If you come at the king, you best not miss. That's from The Wire. I've played that on the show before. And they missed. Oh, they are running scared because they have committed treason of the highest order. It is all provable. It is all common knowledge known. Now, that doesn't mean all the normies, all the NPCs know this yet. It means that anyone who's been following this could put 20 bullet points together, connecting Burisma, connecting the perfect phone call. They're trying to frame Trump and remove him from power in a coup, in a fake impeachment scandal, trying to assassinate him, trying to frame him with lawfare in Georgia and Florida and New York. They've gone out of their minds. And they're sad now. They're scared that there might be repercussions to committing the biggest crimes imaginable that led to 1 million people dying in Ukraine because you overthrew that government in a coup, like you overthrew Bernie Sanders in a coup to install Hillary Clinton in 2016 because the people of the country did not want Hillary. They wanted Bernie. You overthrew him in a coup, but then you really overthrew Trump in a coup in 2020 after trying to overthrow him the years before with the impeachments. After trying to overthrow him by putting a bullet in his head. These people, all they know is overthrowing people, and they're about to get overthrown. They see the writing on the wall, and the beads of sweat are running down the face, like that Key and Peele skit. You can see that GIF right now, and you got the water running down the face. Like, they're terrified, rightfully so. Not because of vengeance or political payback. Oh, tit for tat. Trump really did all those things. And, he's mad about that. So he's going to come after Hunter Biden and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton for stuff they never did. No. It's the exact opposite. What it is you went after Trump for things that he didn't do. You said things that he did do that were good, were bad. And you tried to frame him over and over again. And now you're going to get yours because those were all crimes. That was way past making something up about your political opponent. I don't know. I don't like his rhetoric. He's kind of loose with the facts. He said we had the best economy, and it wasn't the best economy. It was a kind of good economy, but it was also not so good on some other metrics. No. This is like Trump is Hitler, and he's going to steal your country, and he's in Ukraine, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's taking secret documents and nuclear submarine stuff to give to Russia. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Any of this, what are you talking about? Oh, he's an insurrectionist, peacefully and patriotically. Let's go make our voices heard. Insurrection. It's like, you guys have been gaslighting us and lying to us nonstop for 8 years, 12 years, 16 years. And the pendulum has completely turned on this, Blake. I don't know. I'm shocked that
that's a hell of a rant, Brian. I don't know where you go with this. Right.
Well, we went from firing squads. We could talk about Democrats being the party.
You think Hunter should be put in front of the firing squad?
Maybe if Hunter and Joe cut a deal.
Look, you're proving her point, right? She's freaking out because she thinks firing squads are coming after everybody.
That's why I disagreed with you on that. You disagreed, and I agree.
Well, yeah, there's probably absolutely people at the high levels. Your James Clapper, your John Brennan's, your...
Oh, my God.
Right.
The 51 intelligence officials that lied about the blackmail on the Biden laptop. Yes. I mean, these people, this is not normal political tit for tat. This is insane.
Okay. Well, I thought she was insane, that she was exaggerating. So did Scott Jennings. That's why he was rolling his eyes like, okay, give us a break. It's not bringing back fucking firing squads. So she looked like a crazy lunatic, but she's paid activist who looks like a moron outside of her little bubble where she can be the queen of her little lackey followers. But it was like, okay, well, once you're sitting there in front of an actual Scott Jennings or somebody who's going to call you out and make you look like a fool.
I mean,
but side issue, yes, there could be treason charges for some high-level people. I don't know about fucking Hunter Biden, but whatever.
I mean, Hunter was the point person doing all of Joe Biden's dirty work under the command of Barack Hussein Obama as vice president. Like he wasn't the number one, wasn't the number two, but he was three. He was the one cutting these deals. He was the one getting all the bribes and kickbacks. He was the one, as long as we keep him full of coke, as long as we keep him full of crack, as long as we keep him occupied with hookers and alcohol, he can run around. He'll be our little pet. Man, he was a player. He was absolutely a player that led to almost nuclear World War III in Ukraine and 1 million people dead. There have to be repercussions for this. Even if he turns state's evidence, I would settle for cutting a deal on Biden. I would hold my nose and accept it if it means taking down the Hillary and Barack crime families. If it means finally dismantling all of it, I will hold my nose and accept a Hunter plea. Otherwise, good God, these people, if these people are not punished for the criminal acts that they have been participants in, they're going to try it again. This needs to be pay-per-view television at Town Square, have an event for our 250th birthday party. If they're found guilty in a legitimate treason trial, put that on pay-per-view. Handle it on our 250th birthday party as a warning, and let them remain there in the wind. Take the pictures, let the videos until the birds come by. Remind people why you never mess with the United States ever again. Send a message to the banksters, the globalists, the traitors who have sold our country out decade after decade, not giving a shit. The damage and carnage they leave in their wake. I'm telling you, I would just disagree because I agree with that lady. Joe knows what's coming. The hammer of justice. Kash Patel, we put that in the stack. I put it in the headline, but like the reason they're freaking out is because of Kash heading the FBI. He's been very clear about what's about to happen. And I'm grabbing my popcorn, man.
Okay. Next topic.
Wokeness or Hunter and Ashley?
Okay, whatever. Surprise me.
Okay. Here, now tell me what state this is from. Maybe Arizona or Colorado. I'm going to refine my guess on that one, Blake.
All right, I'll say New Mexico.
Okay, that's a
south of Colorado. If you take the I-25,
they
from Albuquerque. I think you could take it from Albuquerque up to Colorado or Denver, Colorado Springs. I can't remember. It might be the other city they have there in New Mexico. I forgot the name.
Yeah, I moved into Taos, New Mexico for a while, and I think we drove an hour and ended up in Colorado, real close, same general area. Okay, we're talking about the penalty and what Joe Biden's done by pardoning his son Hunter Biden. But like, here's this lingering question: is it possible? And I know we've talked about this on the show in the past, but now that it's all coming sifting up to the top, Blake, it's back in the conversation again. Do you agree or disagree that Hunter and Ashley were intentionally undermining their father? It almost sounds unbelievable, and I'm in a comment thread. I think you might have sifted through that, and maybe there's not a lot of. Well, what do you say? Were Hunter and Ashley intentionally undermining their father? Would you agree or disagree with that?
I am going to disagree. I don't think that was part of it's because there's too many unknowns. They have no control over that. It's an interesting theory, but I don't know if that would be true. So I guess in that regard, it's Hunter brought the PC laptop to a repair shop, hoping that the person there would eventually, give it to, like he did, give it to Giuliani or the FBI, and that Ashley Biden was hoping that whoever found her diary would give it to Project Veritas or whoever. They ended up getting sold. You could absolutely connect those dots. I don't think that's what actually happened. I think there'd be other ways of safer ways of getting your message out if you really truly wanted to undermine them. But I think they benefit too much by having their father in this position of power too. So
they do. Yeah. Number one question to solve in any whodunit: who stands to benefit? You instantly look at, does somebody benefit from this happening? Yes or no? Yeah. So you always look at that. But I mean, these are let's face it, these are abused children. Joe Biden taking inappropriate showers, according to that diary. God knows the debauchery and stuff going on with Hunter. Look what he did in his life. Look at the laundry list of seedy, gross, disgusting, amoral, immoral, reckless endeavors that he engaged in sexually. I mean, like, just take a look at all that stuff. Like, this is an abused family who grew up to be abusers. In the case of Hunter, if you want to go down that route, if you're going to take a look at what was on that laptop and extrapolate what you think you were seeing and what we can confirm and what we're suspecting, fine. But yeah, these are abused kids, man. You look at Creepy Joe sniffing little kids and touching, like they're all recoiling away, like they just feel that gross Nosferatu energy. The Nosferatu energy, like Mr. Burns coming up and Smithers, she smells delicious. Sir, she's 3 years old. Delicious, I say. So I don't know. I mean, that could be part of the reason why, because yeah, they've benefited from it, but he's a monster. He's an awful human, repeating the fine people hoax, trying to set us into a race war built on lies, just damaging. How many hundreds of millions of people have heard their lies and at least considered it? And it's warped the brains of people in this country, man. So I don't know. I'm not saying that I think it's a certainty that they did this on purpose. Scott Adams has recreational conspiracy theories, I think he calls them. He's like, I'm not saying I believe it, but I like to ponder what if and kind of keep thinking about, well, what if it was this way? I wonder if this, I wonder if it could have been, well, why would it? And it's like, it won't resolve itself. So the issue just kind of lingers there. I guess that's where I'm at on it. But you can vote on this. It's on the X poll. It's at American_media_ on X. Make sure you're following Blake. He's at TV's Blake Walley. Okay, so that is the undermining efforts. What about this one? What about Democrats and wokeness, Blake? Do you agree or disagree that Democrats need to stop being the party of wokeness?
Absolutely. If they want to stand any chance of surviving another 4 years, they're going to have to change things up. And so even the strategists are calling this one out.
Are you surprised they've been exposed? Are you surprised that it really feels different now, doesn't it? It feels like the facade has been broken. The magical spell has just, it's gone. Like a snowstorm finally cleared up and it's gone. Do you feel that? I feel that so vividly, just in my soul. I don't know if I can point to anything specific, but it's like 100 little paper cuts, death by 1,000 paper cuts. These Democrat strategists and a million other people just like, you got to stop the crazy. Go back to just being a decent party. Make some sense on some, personal issues and common sense strategies.
Right. Well, they clearly have to change their brand again. So they're going to have to do some soul searching. And this one particular strategist says they need to stop being the party of wokeness and moral condescension. So a leading Democratic strategist slammed the party for pandering to radical leftists and alienating regular Americans. So,
speaking of aliens, I did hear there's supposed to be an alien invasion today. Did you hear that?
I heard Mike Barra basically mocking Cliff High because I think Cliff High predicted. I don't know exactly. Some people are saying that it didn't have to be today. It was just coming in the days, weeks, and months. But they tend to push goalposts back whenever they're wrong on those predictions.
That is true. By the way, since Blake doesn't like promoting his show, just let me say he's going to be on. Are you going to be on tonight with Mike?
Yeah, no, I don't mind promoting the show.
Yep. So Blake will be on with TV's Mike Barra, TV's Blake Walley. It'll be on Toxically Masculine Tuesday. There you go. You got to do the flex. So yeah, it'll be on. Check Mike's channel, check Blake's channel, and that'll be what time? 9 p.m. Eastern tonight.
Correct.
Excellent.
9 p.m. Eastern with Steve Doran and Dr. Brooks Agnew. Yes, best roundtable on the net.
There you go. Awesome. So check out that show. All right, what is this clip here, sir?
This is that particular. I guess this is the same guy, Epstein, Julian Epstein. The point is, there's a deeper cultural problem with the left. It's a party of wokeness and moral condescension. Here we go.
Democrats, meantime, are still scratching their heads, trying to figure out what went wrong with President-elect Trump and Republicans across the board, gaining, obviously, so much ground in the election. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman telling the New York Times he wants Democrats to stop freaking out. He went on to add that his party can't underestimate the pull that figures like Joe Rogan have on young voters. Here to weigh in, Julian Epstein, the founder and CEO of the Center for Industrial.
Just a point on the Joe Rogan thing. It's not about Joe Rogan having a pull on the voters. It's about voters finding someone who's speaking common sense stuff, talking like they do, thinking like they do, having reasonable conversations with reasonable people about reasonable topics. It's not that Joe Rogan has a flute and he's the Pied Piper and all the lemmings are just following him. It's that they're finding someone that's making more sense than the professional liars. I just want to make that distinction. It's very important that it's not about the cult of personality. It's not that, oh, Joe Rogan is so cool and we got to follow him. It's not that Donald Trump is so cool and we got to follow him. It's like, no, they're just approaching a lot of these issues from a common sense standpoint, and they're making 10 times more sense than the leaders, the air quote leaders on the Democrat Party. Anyway, just an important distinction I wanted to toss in there.
Okay, I'll make also a quick point. Deb, we cannot see your comments. I don't know. Kenneth was pointing this out. Yes, Deb, don't know why they don't. He's having a conversation with her. We're not seeing your comments, so I'm assuming you got put into the doghouse. We'll see if I can fix that. I don't know. I don't know where she's talking from. I sent you a message on Twitter, but no, it's nothing personal, Deb. I can't see your comments. But we're delighted to have you.
Yeah, okay. And what I'm going to do is this. I would love for Deb to try this. I have copied the link to our Rumble feed, and I'm going to put this in the comments here. If you can please click over. Where'd the comments go? Oh, there we go. Try to click this link in the comments and join the show on Rumble. Or just go to Rumble and type in the New American Media. Tell me if you can leave some comments there and if that will connect. Because my understanding is that chat should jump in here as well. I'm going to test it from the other account. Okay, Blake, go ahead.
All righty, we'll run this quick.
Industrial progress. Great to see you as always, Julian. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You have been one of those sounding the alarm among fellow Democrats for a long time that they just weren't reading the mood of the nation. So what should they read now? How should they listen to you and get it right in 4 years' time?
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for having me on. And yes, you're correct. We have spoken many times in the last year or two about what the Democrats were doing wrong. And Democrats in their postmortem are sort of talking about these things. They had the wrong candidate and their policies were wrong. And sort of all of those things are right. The Democrats need better candidates. And they need to move back to the center on economic and cultural policies. But my point has been that there is a deeper cultural problem with the left and with the Democratic Party. And it's a party of wokeness and it's a party of moral condescension. So on your previous segment where you were talking about immigration, what the left has done is they have said to people, if you disagree with us on open borders, then you're a bad person. And what that has done is it has caused the left to shut its ears and to stop listening to people. And it's made it a lot dumber. It makes them feel good amongst themselves. It helps them achieve social status amongst fellow progressives. But it has made them a lot more tuned out to what the country is saying, and it has made them ineffective. And I think, and a big reason, I think, for the loss. And what the Democrats have to do is cast away this sort of culture of moral condescension and talking down to people and start listening. And, you saw it.
Okay, I think that's good there. I think that's well said. And it's good to hear from somebody who's in on that inside. I think, strategists are pretty much scum of the earth in general, but at least he's having some clarity there on what actually happened.
Indeed.
Yes, most of the time. Yes, he's an interesting character. He really is one of the more interesting people out there. He is brilliant, but he is a paranoid schizophrenic, and he even admits that. He knows that. He's very well researched, but might be a little off, way off on a lot of his predictions, which come from these weird software models. He uses computers to study language and communication, and he can sort of make predictions based off of that. These weird surges. I don't know how to explain it, but he's been wrong, so it may just be crackpot insanity. But at least it's interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like Jameis Winston. You have 2 pick sixes in yesterday's game, but he threw for 500 yards. At least be interesting. If you're going to be something, just be interesting. Be dynamic. Jerry Jeudy, 250 yards receiving. Good Lord. Okay, we can take this 2 different.
Huh? 2 to the other team, right?
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I could take this 2 directions. We could talk about the wokeness angle of the party needs to change, and do we pivot into Bill Maher, or do we talk about the DNC and the nominating the wrong person needing a full audit of the election finances. Where would you like to take this, Blake?
You can just do the audit thing or get it out of the way. I don't really
Let's
have
do-
a ton. It's not something we covered yet.
Well, let's get to it. I mean, and some people said, Blake, that Joe Biden would have performed much better in this election than Kamala Harris. I mean, Kamala had to be the worst thing you've ever seen, and that's saying something because everyone was so down on Biden. It's just glorious if that played a role in the epic landslide loss. Don't let anyone tell you this wasn't a landslide. It was. Just wait till we pass the SAVE Act and get real counts in the next election. But yeah, Kamala being the wrong candidate, and my God, the money they raised and the money they laundered, they're broke, and now they're in debt on top of it. And it's coming out how many production companies, Harpo and all the rest that have been allegedly paid and for endorsements and interviews. It's all AstroTurf. It's Nancy Pelosi calling everything else AstroTurf when she is the party of AstroTurf. But Blake, what do you say? Agree or disagree? There needs to be a full audit of the DNC election finances.
Yeah, absolutely. Not that I give them money, but I mean, if I was giving them money, I would never give them money again until they can explain how they mismanaged that amount of money. So
absolutely. And Trump has trolled him saying, hey, I've got so much money, we could pay off your debt. I don't know if that was a legitimate olive branch or what, but Trump did actually put that out there.
I don't know how serious it is, but we'll see. So I guess last week, Lindy Lee, a Democrat mega donor who served on a finance committee, said that no one from the Kamala Harris campaign is taking responsibility for the massive amount of campaign cash that just vanished in a matter of weeks. And she's calling for a formal accounting of where that money went. She claims certain individuals involved in the Harris campaign became millionaires overnight. And she suggests that there was basically a case of friends taking care of other friends. James Carville also calling for the audit. I know people have a tough time. There's a lot of grassroots donors that, scrape together money believing in their party. And then it's just a big payoff. They just took it. They're crooks. So, yeah. Let's see. Need answers why these people became millionaires, multimillionaires. The money was supposed to be spent on battleground states, making the economic case to Americans, explaining how they would bring inflation down, but not lining the pockets of well-connected Democrats.
But that is so emblematic of who Democrats are. Like, that's exactly what they always do.
Well, they used to be a party for the people. Now they're a party for the self-serving elites. They spent almost $1.5 billion since on July 21st.
And how do you spend more than you have? That's
right.
The number one rule you don't do. That's called theft.
Right. So, I mean, that's a staggering amount of money, $1.5 billion from July. And then they ended up 20 million in debt, I think. So, yeah, the damage is, the decade is done, and the Democratic brand is almost unfathomable, according to James Carville, followed up with what needs to happen. So he says, do you have any idea where the money went? Does anybody have any idea where that money went? 20 million in debt with purchases like $5,000 on nails or who knows. They'd have to go through all of the accounting and dig through it. But yeah, they're the people that are Democrats, they donated. They have a right to know what their money was spent on, and why should they ever support the Democrats again until they do a massive house cleaning. But I think some of these people should be giving money back. What did they do to earn it? Otherwise, they're laundering it to themselves. This should be investigated for criminal activity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and Biden keeps announcing more money, $60 billion to Ukraine, and how much is going to Africa today?
Yeah, it's $1 billion to help African nations rebuild homes hit by natural disasters.
Are they kidding? Are they kidding when the people in North Carolina are still sleeping in tents?
I know.
Is he out of his mind? Blake, when that previous clip, when I disagreed that they're worried about firing squads, you want to see that? You want to see what treason looks like? Let's ignore people who have Trump signs in the front yard if you're FEMA, let's just let them rot. We don't care about half of the country. No. Let them. No, they're going to be destitute. We'll try to steal their land, buy it back at a bargain basement cost. By the way, instead of helping them, buying out a big farmland and creating a subdivision, hey, we're going to build on your site. You can have this trailer to stay in for the next 12 months. We're going to build you a home in this subdivision. We're using our $1 billion. We're going to rebuild this area of North Carolina after all this damage. And we're going to use our FEMA resources to rebuild our country. They're just stealing from Americans and sending it everywhere but. Of course, this is something you'd want to run from a firing squad if you had the audacity to try to pull off while Americans are suffering. Prioritizing illegal aliens who sneak across the border. I can't believe I'm living in this world. But luckily, Dad's about to come home, and he's pissed. I don't know if you ever got that call or your mom ever said, your father heard all about this. He's coming home, and he is pissed off. And you're like, oh, boy, here comes the belt. Or, oh, boy, here comes a lecture. Whatever you're used to when you messed around and found out. But, yeah, Donald Trump's getting back in office. Kash Patel nominated for the FBI chief. Well, this guy's just continuing to money launder to other countries. Nobody sends us shit when Hurricane Helene hits. Where's $1 billion from Africa? Oh, where's all this money coming in? Oh, look at France is sending us this money. Oh, Ukraine is sending us all this money. Nobody sends us shit. Why are we sending a goddamn dollar anywhere else? Can you please make it make sense? Talk to me like I'm 5 years old. Blake, what am I missing?
Well, it's America last. It's just a different shift in philosophy. So they'll import the third world and send our money abroad.
Yeah.
And we suffer. It's ridiculous. So it's good that he's finally gone, but he's going to still do damage on the way out. And he's going to support Ukraine till the last minute. And he's given $1 billion. There's probably a lot of people in Africa that could use that money. And that's cool. But where's the money again? Yeah, for North Carolina. That should come first. And
they're taking it out of our pockets. They're throwing it on a credit card that's maxed out, beyond maxed out. It's $40 trillion in debt. You can't pay this credit card. How are they finding money? This is the Kamala Harris campaign in action. We're $35 trillion in debt. Hey, let's send $1 billion to another country. I'm sorry, you don't have $1 billion to spend. Why are you stealing our money? You're doing what Kamala Harris did. Oh, we raised $1 billion. Let's spend 20 million extra. I'm sorry, what? You don't have it. I don't understand how anything operates this way. It's like I'm living inside of a cuckoo clock.
I hear you, Brian. All right. Well, that's all I got on that one.
All right, that's all you got on that. What about Bill Maher? Let's shift gears here, and then we're going to talk about My Chemical Romance and wrap today's program up, Mr. Blake. Switch there. There we go. Let's go this way. Okay, Bill Maher is... Well, go ahead, Blake. Agree or disagree that Bill Maher should discontinue his real-time political show?
Yes. Sounds like he should. He should just stick to this little show that he does on the side, where he just... It's kind of like Joe Rogan, where they just it's an informal little hangout, and I think they smoke weed. Is that what he's got a blunt there? Okay.
They do smoke. They serve tequila. There's a bar there. They'll fix some cocktail. It's exactly what I would do if I had the setup of my dreams. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's exactly what he should continue to do. He says he's shitting his pants. He's threatening to cancel his HBO show because President Trump is back in. They say yes, while liberal HBO show host Bill Maher occasionally has his moments of clarity, and he certainly does. He's not like Jon Stewart, but he does occasionally come out as a voice of reason for the Democrats. But his case of Trump derangement syndrome is so severe, he may throw away his career. Well, he's had a pretty good long career, so I'm sure he'll be just fine. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. But, he recently hosted Jane Fonda, or I don't know, I guess she embarrassed herself over a variety of topics. But yeah, subject.
That was really good. Did you watch that interview with Jane Fonda, or at least is this the clip where she?
I don't care. This is old Barbarella. What is she, like 80 something? She still looks fantastic for her age with all the work done. Good for her. Don't care. Don't consider her much of a political mind. I just occasionally like the occasional Barbarella reference. That's about it. So that's pretty much what I think of with
she had a back and forth. I think it was with Maher, and they had a back and forth, and she didn't believe the levels of crazy the Democrats were up to. And he goes, no, they're literally saying men can get pregnant. She goes, well, I maybe in the conspiracy or something, but I don't follow accounts that say that. He goes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah, it's what they're saying.
Yeah, she doesn't have a reason to play stupid, but yeah, again, she's not that relevant. I'm surprised that she was there, to be honest. Not that I have anything personal against her, but
Hanoi Jane.
Yeah, you think of all the people that he could get on his show, that probably wouldn't make the cut, but who knows? Maybe it was a holiday episode. Nobody else was available on that particular weekend. So anyway, all good. But sounds like he's gonna be quite stressed out trying to cover Trump for another 4 years. So he might as well just end his show. And he's still got other stuff to do and other projects that he can fund. So he'll be just fine.
All right. Well, let's keep our eyes peeled if Bill goes a different direction. All right. Final topic. My Chemical Romance drummer, Blake. Is this new? I didn't even hear this story. Agree or disagree that the My Chemical Romance drummer was likely killed by foul play. When did 22 days after last sighting? Dude, catch me up on this story. I don't even know what's going on here.
Yeah, this is. I know I just barely grazed this last night. My Chemical Romance. It came across my newsfeed, but I couldn't find it, and then I saw it again today. So apparently, yes, the band member found 22 days after his last sighting.
Oh.
So, yeah, he was discovered deceased in his Tennessee home on Tuesday. Not been seen alive since November 4th. Sent ripples through the music industry. Was kind of curious, like, where is his close friends or family that knew he was disappeared for as long as he was? So he was in an advanced state of decomposition inside his residence, but noted that there were no signs of foul play, noting all of his weapons and musical equipment remained untouched. The exact cause of death remains under investigation, but digging into his final social media activity provides a glimpse into his known moments. I guess he was critical of the new Linkin Park, the new female vocalist.
As was I.
Right. So,
but I'm happy that they're doing it. I meant to do a whole video on this, but like, I'm glad they're playing music. It didn't really work for me all that much. I think they could vastly improve it. I think the chick she's trying way too hard. She's screaming way too much, and she's going to blow her vocal cords out. If you could reduce the amount of extra strain that she's doing, I think a little goes a long way. It's like paprika or one of those spices, cilantro, or what's that little saffron? A little bit goes a long way, and I think that's her vocal screamings. It's a little too much, but yeah. So advancedly so like 2 months. He's been 22 days.
About a month, yeah, like a month, like rotting, and none of his friends or family did a wellness check. Like, hey, you'd think somebody, like, that's odd to be gone that long, especially right where we're on the holidays, and nobody knew. That's odd. I mean,
by the way, for anyone who's not familiar, I'm just going to play 6 seconds of this so you can. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want the piano part. It's when the drums kick. He said, "Son, when there you go. You grow up, there's the marching snare. Oh, and then it goes into. Well, you can just watch it. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but like it's like a kind of like a drum solo at the end of the intro before it goes. It's a cool drum part. It's an interesting drum part. Really great drum part. I like it. I mean, one of the more prolific songs of this era. It's got
That was the end of my mainstream era. That was my end of listening to the rock alternative music on the radio.
They killed it for you?
My Chemical Romance and
They ruined it?
Fall Out Boy. That was kind of the era. I was from like Linkin Park was in that early 2000s and Kid Rock and a few others, or Avenged Sevenfold. I remember there was a few like cool bands that I still listened to, but as soon as it went into that emo stuff, the only song I ever liked by My Chemical Romance was the Teenager song. That one's great. I don't like any of the other stuff. I never liked Fall Out Boy, any of that other.
I love
it. Was like, ugh, okay, it was like this. The whole music scene changed, and it was like this emo punk weird shit. And I was like, I'm out. I'm going straight to CDs and what have you. Until years later, when Pandora and then later Spotify came out and changed everything.
And for those reasons, Blake is out.
Yeah, because before that, I used to listen to like Las Vegas. You know, they had alternative rock and they had classic rock. But I mean, it was like I can't listen to the alternative rock station anymore for, years that I had listened, because it was like that had changed into the emo. It was kind of like, when hair band turned into grunge and changed things, but that was better. But I lost my rock station. I used to listen to a rock station based out of called Z-Rock, based out of Texas. But then once the grunge thing became a thing, like that was the end of the hair band scene. So, I guess that's weird. Been part of those radio stations that, went under or changed their format or what have you. But that was a sizable shift back then. But yeah, interesting, because also it's Linkin Park. Speaking of Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, was kind of thought of as maybe one of the illegitimate son, getting into the conspiracy, the
we're going here.
son of Podesta.
Going back to Hillary and the food.
Right. Him, and that was another conspiracy theory. Him and Chris Cornell were like involved in trying to blow the whistle on child trafficking
and Avicii.
Who?
Avicii, Avici.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah, look up Avicii. Write it down. Write down Avicii and just check it out after. I forget what he does. He's a DJ though. He was very prominent. And he was. I think he did work on a film about that. I think he actually did some stuff on a film about that. But yeah, all three of them roughly around the same time. All musicians and all kind of linked to saving kids from monsters. That's a callback to earlier Joe Biden showering inappropriately stories, I suppose. But that's sad about My Chemical Romance drummer. What was his name again?
His name was Bob Breyer. But here's what he says. Controversial, maybe you won't agree, Brian. He says Emily Armstrong is destroying and shredding faces and making Chester proud. She was the perfect choice, Brian. Oops. And she had to deal with the initial hate. That shit is hard. Trust me. Word up. And is that going to be his last tweet, I guess?
Wait, so what was he talking about? That she's going to be the what?
He liked her as the potential replacement, and then people were very critical of him.
Oh.
So then, but that might be his last tweet, right? Well, that was November 4th. Oh, he said Tulsi. Tulsi was his last tweet. Maybe this is Megyn Kelly, and then he said Emily Armstrong. Not very good. God, he only put out 21 tweets. So they sure that this is the same guy? Yeah, he's got 95,000 followers. But I guess he wasn't real prolific. He was probably very introverted, and it took a few weeks before anybody knew that he had died mysteriously. But let's look at some of his tweets.
Tulsi and Megyn. Just Tulsi, Megyn. He looks like a guy that might have been at January 6th, don't he? He looks like somebody on a rap sheet, somebody on a, what is that, Brady Bunch, one of those squares with 9 faces on it. Looks like he indicted today from Tennessee, this guy. He's got a beard, he's kind of white, and he's got those aviator glasses and a hat. I bet you he's MAGA. Bet you he was MAGA upset about what happened.
Well, he's wearing a Make America Great Again hat. I don't know if you can see that in that screen. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, Make America. Okay, I didn't know that's what the hat was.
Are you a big My Chemical Romance fan, Brian?
Dude, front to back, that song. I mean, it's like
Well, you like drums. I'm not a drum guy.
I don't like drums. I am a drummer.
I know.
And I like drums.
Right.
But that was an epic. I'm not super familiar with all of My Chemical Romance's catalog by any stretch. I actually don't even know what other songs I know of them. Super prolific band. But yeah, Welcome to the Black Parade. It's a drum opus. It's not quite like Tool doing Numa, but it's a great one. It's a great song. Yeah, rest in peace to him. I just left that comment. Absolute epic drum component in that song. Rest in peace, man. My Chemical Castration.
All right, well, I did like the Teenagers song. That one's great.
I don't know that
Everything
one.
else sucks. You don't, come on. You got to know the Teenagers song. Teenagers scared the living shit out of me. They could care less as long as someone will bleed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That
one always reminds me like
not
the
me.
not me. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny. Like that part right there always leads into she wore a itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini that I saw for the first time today. There's something about that vocal run right there.
Yeah.
My head always jumps into itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini right after.
All right.
Yes,
Well, that's not it, but I hear you. Okay. So that's why you don't.
If anyone wants to listen to that part, they know about me.
Yeah, this is fun and catchy. It wasn't like
the living shit out of me. And nobody knows about me. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep.
It's that bum,
but
because that sounds like she wore a. It's the same exact pattern of. My brain can't unhear it.
Well, that's just like your opinion.
Nice quote. Brittany's saying, hey, as soon as some of the people involved in the farming, shipping, and distribution of food take a pay cut, these grocery stores are going to fall like crazy. Gas is $3.03 nationally, 50 cents cheaper. Oh, 50 cents gas soon. Brittany, very excited, very optimistic, Brittany.
Yes, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Let's go back to the time of My Chemical Romance when gas was $1. It wasn't $1, but it was $1.50, $2 maybe. Rest in peace, though. Yeah, go check out this entire song one more time. I'm gonna play it when the show's done. I think the song's incredible, and rest in peace. But yeah, foul play, Blake. I mean, we just don't know. It didn't look like the place was ransacked or looted. He just had some sort of maybe an overdose, maybe a medical condition. Did he take any experimental stuff? There's the video for Teenagers Scare the living shit out of me. I'm very whiny, and can't you just see? The song is so old and annoying, got to the ears, and nobody knows it but me.
Yep.
They got like a very whiny, nasally.
Oh, they're a horrible band. I mean, they became
like them though. I kind of like them.
Well, they became like the biggest band on that station. Like they became huge overnight, and they were massive. And there was like this whole like emo revolution. And I fucking hated it, and I had to tune out of it. But that was the only song where I thought, oh, that's kind of catchy and fun, and everything else sucks. So there you go. There's your.
I like the cheerleaders wearing gas masks here. This looks like a communist rally, right? This is like a commie pinko bullshit thing going on here.
Does look like it, yeah. I've never
part
seen
Nuremberg, part spazzing out, part theater, part Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit, part. I don't know what we got going on here, but yeah, this is a drum masterclass. This whole Welcome to the Black Parade, and of course, this one is your favorite, Teenagers. Okay, all right, rest in peace, Mr. Blake Walley. Anything else you have on your side of the fence here while we play out to this video that we can't play? Yeah, we can't play this song. We would like to, but we don't want to. Run afoul of the censors. Please make sure you're following Blake Walley on Twitter. He's at TV's Blake Walley. Check out his archive at thenextlevelnews.com. And if you'd like to support independent journalism, you can donate to Blake on Venmo at Blake-Walley or on Cash App at $BlakeW99. Blake will be on tonight's episode of Toxically Masculine Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be on all the places. Check out Mike Barra's channel and Blake's channel. Find it. Awesome. Follow it. Good stuff. And Blake has the open invitation to join us on Strictly Football every Thursday if he should be so interested. We'll see. Open invitation. His Vikings are awesome. He wore a Vikings shirt last time. He was all super excited for his team, and they won again. They just keep winning. Aaron Jones, baby. I traded for him last year.
Tough game.
Well, he scored the touchdown, though. He scored when it counted.
Yeah.
He pushed that one in when they needed it. So, you can't be perfect, but all you can do is hope to bounce back. In the
If he would have just gotten 60 yards, I could have made some money off of it, but I'll forgive him. Okay.
What do they say? The word parlay is French for wah, wah.
Yep, you missed one thing. You hit the other 14, it doesn't matter. It's still 0.
I know.
14 times 0 is still 0.
Facts. All right. Well, Blake, we will let you go. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks,
Enjoy your
everybody.
program tonight.
Take care.
And we'll see you guys back again Thursday, 3:00. Probably pretty good. Glad you're settling in now to your situation over there in Nashville. All right. If you appreciate what we're doing here on the New American Media, thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to shoot us a donation, they're all super appreciated. I mean, they go so far. A little bit goes a long way. Patreon.com/the New American Media. Venmo at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. And PayPal at Fuzz Installment, FUZZINSTALLMENT, at Fuzz Installment on PayPal, Brian Engelman on Venmo, and Patreon.com/the New American Media. You can find us there. Also, be sure to search our private groups on Facebook. Go on Facebook and search TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show. Type it exactly as it shows on the screen, and then you can join our private group. It says, hey, why'd you find this private group, and why do you want to join? It says, Brian, reply back, Brian invited me. That will let you in. Also, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/the New American Media. 1,500 videos over 12 and a half years there. Mostly, though, we want you to join us on Rumble. We have our page, The New American Media. Hit subscribe, hit all the things. Notification bells. Go back, let some other videos play. Let the ads play because we're monetized over there. It sounds such a novel thing. We used to be monetized, so YouTube ran their stunts because they didn't like people competing with the lying legacy media. Luckily, the marketplace has spoken and nobody cares about lying legacy media anymore. Also, download our podcast for the Agree to Disagree Show on Spotify, the Agree to Disagree Show. Oh, actually, I need to add a word here. Hang on, where does it say? Rumble accounts, the Agree to Disagree Show podcast. There we go. Saved and corrected. So check that out on Spotify. And also get us on X. We're at American_media_ on X. So those are all of the places you can find us and contribute. Kenneth saying that there is some good music in the mail headed our way. Yes, look forward to it. Looking forward to it. And Kenneth, you have some cool stuff headed your way. By the way, if you want to support the show, like I said about our sports show, I have these sets of 4 coasters. They're wooden. They're Ohio made, laser burned and etched. One's in the shape of the great state of Ohio. One of those is on its way to Kenneth, being mailed out, and one is in the circular shape with the beer mug, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. If you want some of these, they're $30 a set for 4 of them in here, if you see. Nice and thick, girthy. $30 or $30 or $50 for both. If you just want one, send the Venmo or however you want it with your address and just tell me which one you want. But if you want the trifecta, $75 donation. A pin for $25. These both for $50, so $75 altogether. You'll get one of each if you want to support the program. So, yes, lots of stuff going on. We'll be doing our Strictly Football show at 5 o'clock Eastern with Mike Barra. We do share a studio with Mike. That's kind of how we cross-pollinated here through Blake and Restream and all of that jazz. But, yeah, we've been doing that weekly football show. I'm going to reach out to Jason Kelsey and invite him onto the program. We'll see what he has to say. Could be fun. Looking forward to the potentiality of that. Did my phone die? How could my phone have died? It was 100%. That's really strange. Anyway, I digress, and we will be back in a little while. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace out.
Ah!